Hello everybody, welcome back to the James Lawrence Allcott channel and the return of Dream Teams. And this next guest, we were speaking about this for quite a while and I haven't been able to get him on, and now finally I have. He's a baller. You know, me and him it is the midfield partnership the world wants to see, but we haven't been able to do it enough. Sharky joins me right now to go through his dream team. Yeah, Sharky, I saw it, Clash of the Creators. I was thinking, get me in there. I'll sit there, win it, give it to you. You score goals.
Oh,
that's what the world needs to see.
Yeah,
and our time will come.
I would have loved for you to be there. I would have loved it. Yeah. But it will come. We played together 7-a-side tournament.
Yeah, but they kept swapping us out, didn't they? That was the thing.
Yeah. But it will come.
It will come, mate. So for those of you who don't know, Sharky is an absolute legend. He's got a channel. He's a big Arsenal fan, and his team reflects that. And I just said before we started recording here that I saw Sharky's team and I went, yeah, that's what I want. And the reason why I want a team like this is because I want to look at players' names and I want to say the word why. Why? And there's about, hang on, 1, 2, 3, 4, at least 5 maybe. I'm just like, why? So let's get straight into it, guys. If you haven't checked out the other episodes of Dream Teams, we've done Rory, Emmanuel Petit, we've done Mark Goldbridge. We've had some good names, so go check them out. But of course, watch this one first. Right, let's kick off with your goalkeeper, which is certainly one of my whys. Why on earth have you picked this goalkeeper?
I thought it would have been. Shall I say who I've gone for?
Go for it, bro.
I have gone for Emi Martinez. Go on, ask why. Say why.
Why? So hang on, because Sharky's an intelligent guy. He knows what this is. What I'm asking for here. I'm not asking for the best players. I'm asking for your dream team, players that you care about. So why on earth is Emi Martinez on this team? Because
he should be Arsenal's #1 right now, James. He should be on #1 right now,
mate.
Literally, this
is gonna age so badly. This is gonna this is the problem. You're in at the time of recording, Arsenal in a difficult place. We won't dive into that too much. But is it as simple as that? You're just it's just it's the girl that got away.
Basically, it is more or less the girl that got away. The thing is though, it's the girl that we've had from like 10 years ago this whole time, but just kept her on the side, and now she's gotten away. We're like, oh damn, I kind of like that.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? It's like we've had Emi Martinez for so long. Like he's been on loan a lot, and I remember, it was at Reading, and even against Reading for Arsenal, we won 7-5. We were 4-0 down. He was in goal, and he had disaster class. And he was called Damien Martinez back then, James. He's changed. He's rebranded.
Really? Nice.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
His name is Damien Emiliano Martinez. And when he was a youngster at Arsenal, coming up in Arsenal, he was Damien Martinez. And that Damien Martinez wasn't good.
Yeah.
He wasn't good. You can see the 4 goals to first half to Reading. And then he went on loan. He rebranded. He became Emi Martinez. He rebranded, and then lockdown, just after obviously the Premier League shut down for a couple of months and everything. And then we came back, and then the first game, I think one of the first games we had back, it was the first game or the second game, was against Brighton, and Leno got injured. Neil Mopai injured Leno.
Yeah. Famous game, that was a famous one. Yeah,
exactly. So Leno got injured, and then Emi Martinez came in, and everyone was like, oh, okay, now it's like, he's not that good or whatever. This man was a revelation.
Yeah.
Like, he was so good, James. It was unreal. Like, he was commanding. He was a leader. He was loud. He spoke to defenders. He was good in the air. His distribution was better than Leno. Everything was sick. He even made a world-class save against Liverpool. I don't know if I think it was Trent. I think Trent struck the ball. It was a world-class save.
Right.
And this guy had everything. And I was like, oh my God, this guy's unbelievable. He's better than Leno. And then we won the FA Cup with him. We played Chelsea and City in the semis, Chelsea in the final, clean sheets both games. Played Liverpool in the Community Shield.
I know where you're going.
Bro, I was like, this guy is unbelievable.
Yeah. So finally, right? You've had a few naughty goalkeepers since, I don't know. Even Jens Lehmann was a little bit naughty, but since then you've had a lot of those guys. So Szczesny always, I think he's the only goalkeeper to score an own goal in in consecutive major tournaments or something like that. So you've had goalkeepers like that. Well, yeah, so he came in, he was calm, he was strong, he was commanding, and then
we sold him.
Yeah.
We sold him. We got rid of him. I think it was like he didn't want to compete for his place. Fair play. He thought he did enough to be starter. Obviously, Leno's coming back. And I agree with him. I agree with him because, yes, Leno was our first choice. Leno got injured. Emi comes in. Emi's got to do the best he can. Emi did the best he can.
Yeah.
So he's got to keep his place until Leno fights for his place back. That's how it should be, you know?
Oh, I see.
You can't just get dropped.
But I guess the thing with goalkeepers is like, you'd signed Leno. How many years before that had you signed Leno? Maybe it was either his first or second season.
Yeah. I think
so the problem you had there is you had a guy that like actually, the problem that I always go on about with Arsenal is that you screw up with your contracts where you haven't got people on long enough deals so that you don't give them enough time to sell them. So the Leno thing, you could have been brave. They could have been brave and gone, look, Martinez is the guy now. We're going to sell. We're going to sell Leno because you got a contract there and you probably could have got a decent amount of money for him at the time. But yeah, I mean, tricky one. And he's gone on and done brilliant things and you know, won Copa America this year as well.
Even that.
Yeah.
Look how we did that. You see the penalty shootout in the semi-final.
Yeah.
Like, look, I'm watching that burning thinking, that could be my goalkeeper.
Could have been your guy.
Like,
and he's
the
like,
mind games.
Yeah, the rebrand, that is a bombshell, mate.
Yeah,
that is such a bombshell. Genius.
Not many people know.
yeah. Right, I'm calling him Damien from now on. That's what you should do. You should push the Damien agenda, and then he'll start playing like a goalkeeper. His first name is Damien.
Literally.
No offense to anyone called Damien. Right, let's go. Do you want to go left to right, or do you want to go right to left in your back line?
Let's go right to left. I usually go right to left when I do things.
Okay. So yeah, give us this. There's no why in this, but this is nice. This is a nice little glorious player. Give us your right back.
All right, my right back is Dani Alves. Dani Alves, like you just said, there's no why in this. I think our generation of watching football, our era.
It's okay, you can say your generation. I know you're younger than me.
No, we're probably not far.
You'd be surprised.
I'm old. But our generation, literally, Dani Alves has been the best right back in the whole, from when we've been watching. Facts. He's also the most decorated football player. He's won everything. Apart from the World Cup, probably, but he's won everything else.
Yeah. So I looked at that. He is according to Wikipedia, but he is the most number one decorated player in the history of football. 43 trophies. 43.
And look at that. Of course he had to make my dream team.
Of
course he did.
He got no chance.
It's and just that Barcelona team, you know, that he was part of the best Barcelona teams ever. Even that link up he had with Messi on the right side where Messi was playing right wing, Dani, and even as a character, he just seems like such a fun character. Like the celebrations, I see him and Neymar when they used to play Barcelona together, the dances they were doing.
Yeah, naughty suits. He loved a naughty suit, didn't he?
The way he dressed, it's just his character coupled with his footballing ability, coupled with his accomplishments. It's like I couldn't think of another right back I'd put over him. I tried to. What I did with my dream team is you'll see as we go into it. I thought I got to every position and I thought, can I put an Arsenal player here? And I think about first thing I think of is an Arsenal player.
Cool.
So, was there an Arsenal player in that position that I loved so much that I had to be there? No? Okay, now let me go out of Arsenal and think of who I enjoyed in general. So there was no Arsenal player I could put a right back over Dani Alves. So I was like,
yeah, I think that's a fair point. Because when did you start supporting Arsenal and taking in the information that is Arsenal?
Supporting Arsenal from a kid, but taking in the information properly. I think my first proper memory was the 2005 FA Cup final when we beat United. So just after the events.
Yeah.
I was watching, but I didn't really. So just after the events. Season after the events.
Oh, I might need a 10-minute video with you after this because I need to ask you about that because I think that's really interesting. That the people that are fans who kind of got there just after it was glorious. Dani Alves, one thing, still playing at the time of recording, playing for Sao Paulo, 38. Can I wind you up a little bit? And I'm not trying to, but it's just what I saw. So I remember on Sky you'd watched La Liga. You were aware this Barcelona team was frighteningly good, right?
Yep.
And Dani Alves was the right back, bombing on all the time. But I promise you, I swear, and I was looking for it, for a 4-year period, at least, maybe more, 6 years I'm going to go with, I never, ever saw him put in a good cross. And I know I must be wrong in that. I know I have to be wrong in that. But there was and he, look, 43 trophies. Always a starting player. PSG, similar thing. Juventus, similar thing. I mean, he wasn't there for Juventus for too long. But there was this weird thing. I don't know if you've ever had that with players. But let us know, guys, in the comments. There's got to be a player that everyone else is like, oh, he's amazing, and I just couldn't see it for years. But like, no doubt, he's good.
I'll give you something similar to that.
Okay.
Right. Ashley Cole. Unbelievable. No, unbelievable left back.
Yeah.
And it's not in my team. You guys will find out after.
Yeah.
Or maybe not just because of that Arsenal fans hate him, but he was a great player. Same thing. He wasn't good at crossing the ball either.
That's true. That is true.
He was a good tackler.
He's a good tackler.
One-on-one defender. He's got a one-on-one defender. He could play the ball. He wasn't a good crosser of the ball.
But I guess the weird thing I kept watching it. It would be every time I go, oh, Barcelona, right? I'm just watching Dani Alves. But a good cross. It'd be a bad cross. Yeah. And I was just like, that can't be. I can't be right. But I never saw it. But anyway.
I don't know. Yeah, I didn't really notice. But I think what he was good at was the link-up play, the 1-2s, kind of and then with Messi on the right side, one of the midfielders on the inside, the popping it. It was tiki-taka. I think that's so. I didn't notice the whole crossing thing. Maybe
I think I'm wrong. By the way, I think I'm wrong. and people will be screaming at me right now. But it's what I saw. That was my eye test. Right, we're going across. So we're going right-sided centre back now. Not a why. As in, it's more like the why here is like, why did you behave the way you did at the end? Give us that right-sided centre back.
My right-sided centre-back is Laurent Koscielny.
Yes.
If you know me personally, it's not a bombshell. Everyone knows that whilst Koscielny was there, he was actually probably my favourite Arsenal player.
Why?
I think because we struggled for centre-backs a lot. Since like the Sol Campbells and the Kolo Tourés and those kind of players, we had a lot of centre-backs coming in and out of the door. We've had the Thomas Vermaelens. We've had obviously Per Mertesacker was there, Laurent Koscielny, Felipe Senderos, Squillaci, Mustafi, Gabriel Paulista. Yeah, Gabriel Paulista. All these. Yeah, so many. But Laurent Koscielny was the one that actually was. And I feel sorry for someone like Vermaelen. He was injured a lot because he could have been another one that was like a standout. But Koscielny was the one that was actually a standout. Like I think Koscielny is our best centre back since the Sol Campbell, Kolo Touré era. Definitely. Yeah, I think, and he's like, he's played over 200-300 league games for us. We signed him from the 2nd division in French football, and like, I love that kind of story when you sign someone that's fairly unknown and then they turn out to be unbelievable, because it's like that is a good scout. Like, how would his career have gone if we didn't sign him? He might have just rotted away in the lower 2nd French tier or lower league team and the top tier in France football. Yeah,
he's got 50 caps for France.
That's a lot international.
Because the funny thing, I feel like the difficulties defensively of Arsenal over the last 10 years, probably like for someone who's not watched him the same amount as you have, makes me kind of like it kind of by osmosis. I don't think he's that good. But you can't like play that many games, and also I think often with centre backs, it's not just you. Like it's the guy next to you. So do you think he was a little bit let down by some of the players like that were around him a lot of the time? Was he that good? Like who would you put him above that other people might be surprised by?
Ooh.
Or alongside, like in terms of Premier League centre backs, like do you put him alongside Sol Campbell?
I think he could have played. I think he could have played in that team.
That's true. There you go.
Yeah.
That's a good shout. So say like someone like Kolo Touré who played alongside Sol Campbell.
I think I'd say Koscielny is better than Kolo Touré. How about
that? Yeah.
Kolo Touré, I'd say he was. I think he complements Sol Campbell even better.
I guess that shows is that it is the sum of the parts as well. Like so because Kolo Touré like comes in legend, kind of then leaves and that's the end of it. Whereas Koscielny was kind of stuck with Mertesacker was quite good. That was one moment where you had an okay team there, didn't you?
Yeah, they had a good partnership,
but not enough. Yeah, but I did want to ask you just about the you know, he was there 9 years. So like, and he wasn't totally finished. You probably still needed him. When was it? 2019 he left. How do you feel about him leaving? Did that like mar it in any way for you? The fact that he just like forced to move?
It's no, because what I've heard was how he was treated unfairly. Like he wasn't taken to pre-season. I think it was with us. He did want to come, and like it was just like it turned sour. And it's happened a lot in football. Like a player who deserves better gets treated unfairly, and then they just act up. Like Roy Keane at Man United. Like treated unfairly at the time. So I was like, and these players are human. Do you know what I mean? Like I'm like, yeah, the way the announcement was a bit weird, and they took off the shirt, and he had the Bordeaux shirt, but I didn't really care. Another reason why I picked him is I know he's a defender, but he scored so many clutch goals for us. Like he scored, I think, 2 goals, like on 2 separate seasons. He scored a goal to solidify us in top 4.
Right.
He also scored the FA Cup final equalising goal against Hull when we were 2-0 down. Santi Cazorla scored a free kick, and then Koscielny scored the equaliser. So he's got so many important goals for us, and that's another thing. Where it's like with that kind of thing, it's like that's where you build a love for a player.
Sure, yeah, big moments, right?
Because of the memories, the moments, the memories, like and that's where you become like you fall in love with a player.
Yeah,
so,
well, that's why I thought it'd be interesting to chat to you, because someone like a little bit older. You were saying it's 2005. They would just go for the Invincibles. They go straight to the Invincibles. And I think this is a truer reflection of being a football fan, where it's like, okay, well, you know, if we want to pick apart people being the all-time greats, like, then you can do that. But I liked him, so shut up.
Yeah,
like I like that. Give us your second centre back.
This is the last player I put on my team. I was struggling for a centre back, so this was a bit forced. But then I was like, I did like him, and I went for Nemanja Vidic.
So this shows your strategy, doesn't it? You were saying, can I get an Arsenal player in there? But we've just discussed that, you know, Koscielny was kind of let down by some of the partners that he had. So you couldn't get Mertesacker in there. You couldn't get any of those guys in there. What? So with Vidic, it was more like an elite centre back.
Yeah, and also, you know, I obviously the team is not meant. They're never going to play together with my team. But I also had in the back of my mind what partnership would work. A little bit. I was like, I don't want to pick 2 similar centre backs. I was like, I want to pick I want it to in my head. Oh, that would actually kind of work. And Vidic was more of like a no nonsense, aggressive, brave defender. Kind of like similar to like a John Terry, but. I didn't pick John Terry, even though John Terry I think is the best Premier League centre back of all time. Vidic, I think, in that United team, when I was growing up, United were the best team in the Premier League. Full stop. No one was close.
Yeah.
Vidic came in. They won 3 Premier League titles in a row. One of those years was a treble. So obviously, when I'm watching football in high school, United are the best team. I'm going to see a lot of United. Yeah, I'm going to see a lot of United. And Vidic was at the heart of that defence. And he was the one that, the rock, the aggressive one, the brave one.
So you weren't a Rio man. You were more a Vidic man. I find this with a few of these dream teams, like seeing like what people are. Because I was a Rio man, but you're a Vidic guy. You like, you know, Vidic, John Terry, like the guy just go and dominate.
Yeah. Those are like my kind of defenders. I like people that just like John Terry. He just put his face in front of the ball. He didn't care. Like, I like that. Old fashioned. Grit, put your face in front of the ball, like just do anything to get rid of it. Now it's like Rolls Royces of centre halves. They don't even slide tackle. They just they time their runs. They're intelligent, high IQ. Vidic, apart from Torres, I think he didn't struggle against much other players. Yeah,
that's true. That was his kryptonite, wasn't it? Torres, big time.
Yeah, sure. And it's very famous for that. So
don't worry.
I think,
So don't worry, guys. That's the only. I'll give you a bit of a spoiler. That's the only Man United player who's made it in there. So Arsenal fans are going, "What are you doing, Sharky?" But on the left-hand side, so Evra doesn't make it. This was one of my whys, but then I was kind of like, I think this might be a bit of an underrated pick, actually. Talk us through your left back.
My left back is Nacho Monreal. I saw you trying to hold it and laugh. Why are you laughing, Jay?
Well, do you know what? But again, it comes back to your theories, which I like. And Monreal's funny because he was good. He was very, very good.
Yeah.
He doesn't. I think part of the problem is he looks a bit geeky.
Yes.
So I think people kind of go, oh, and also, I wonder if he was a bit before his time in terms of someone who could play. He was like a good left back. He was an all right left wing back. He was quite a good left-sided centre back in a 3 actually as well.
Yeah,
and
he was.
But back then, I think, like you see Dani Alves on the other side of that team. I think if you're thinking of like exciting fullbacks like during that period, I wonder if he seems a bit boring. But you picked him.
Yeah, but it matters about who I pick, James.
I know. That's it. I'm here to probe. You know, you've got to defend your men. You've got to defend your men.
Natural Monreal. I could have gone for Ashley Cole, Gael Clichy, who were probably better left backs for Arsenal. But I was more attached to Nacho Monreal, I reckon. Nacho, he just, you know what it is, he was just consistent. Like, he'd give you a consistent 7 out of 10 every game. You won't get more, you won't get less. He's just there. Kind of like a Cesar Azpilicueta for Chelsea. I say he's a consistent 8 out of 10, a bit
that's a good shout. That's a great comparison. Yeah. That's such a good comparison. Yeah, because he rarely got. I mean, someone's going to send me a clip now, but he really got done, did he?
Yeah, he was good. He was good there. Like, I liked him. But like now, slowly but surely, I was actually about to put Kieran Tierney there. I'm a big fan of him.
Yeah. Well, I think he needs. Well, the team needs to improve, like just for him to like not get sucked into to what's happening there. But anyway, right, we move into midfield. You've gone with a little diamond here, which I really, really like. No one sent me a line. You sent me like a graphic, which I think is just beautiful. So at the base of your man, I love it. This is what I want. I appreciate the respect. So let's start off with your holding midfielder. I understand why you picked this guy for sure.
All right. Well, there's a star next to this man's name because I don't know if you know, but this is my favorite football player of all time, full stop. Ever.
Right.
Like, go back to my old tweets back in 2010, go back to my old video. My favorite footballer of all time, if you know who I am, is Sergio Busquets.
Okay. So
that's my favorite player. So he was the first name on our team.
So with Sergio Busquets, so what was it, over 600 games, I think, like that for Barcelona, one-man clubs, won everything as well, won everything. Surely he's got to be pretty close to Dani Alves in terms of all these trophies. I guess maybe a couple of championships, but he has won the World Cup. Yeah, he's won the World Cup and the Euros, which is crazy.
2 Euros, yeah.
What do you love the most about Busquets?
The thing about Busquets, growing up, I was playing defensive midfield. Now I'm centre mid, but I used to play defense. Like, my coach used to put me defensive midfield. So I remember I was about 14 years old, 13, 14, moved to defensive midfield, and I was like, I want to start studying holding midfielders. And there was 2 players I studied. There was Sergio Busquets and Michael Carrick. So random, I know, but Sergio Busquets and Michael Carrick. They were my 2 players I studied. Busquets, because Busquets before he became like my favorite player, it was like he was a diver, he was a cheat. Do you remember? He'd go down and hold his face.
Oh yeah, he did. That's
the Busquets I knew. And then I started watching him, obviously, to study for my football matches and how I'm playing. I started watching him and I was like, this guy's unbelievable. Like, you think about Xavi, you think about Iniesta. No, Busquets is the guy.
Yeah,
like, he is the man. He's so class. Like, he doesn't tackle, he intercepts. He reads the play. Mate, on the ball. You wouldn't think he's skillful. He's so skillful.
I couldn't agree more, man. I love that. I love it on Twitter when you're scrolling along and you'll find like a little compilation of Busquets, little passes and bits and pieces. And the thing with players like Busquets and Carrick, that their thing becomes, I don't know, you'll have certain people going, they get annoyed that people claim that they're somewhat underrated. But like you're saying, if you watch a game and just watch them, and that's the great thing about like these kind of midfielders, like Pirlo was like this, Scholes at a late back end of his career was this kind of player as well. Because of the view that you get on TV. You can't always do that with centre backs or full backs because the ball's down the other end. With your centre midfielders, you can often do that. And because I remember, long time ago, I did like some reporting for the youth team at QPR, and you'd film it, right? And I basically was like, what do I do? And he said, basically, when the ball's in the middle, go wide. When the ball goes into the third, zoom in. I was like, okay, fine. Yeah. So with players like Busquets or those kind of players that you want to watch, because I was like you, I was like, I would watch those kind of players. You would see that they've already seen a pass that's 10 seconds in the future. And they will have stopped it. And so instead of, if you think of the centre-back trying to play a pass, Carrick or Busquets, more so Carrick, I'm not talking about this one, but they would already, he would have seen that they would want to play that ball. So they would then go another way around, and they would lose the ball, and the box-to-box midfielder would be the guy who makes the challenge. But the whole thing had started from Busquets or from Carrick, and I just think, mate, this is my football porn is players that can trot, players that you can walk through a game, and Busquets is right up there for that. His vision's a joke, right?
Oh, yeah. He's so good. And you say about the compilations, I think I watched every single compilation of Busquets on YouTube. Yeah. Like I said, and even what you just said, like you watched the game, Vicente Del Bosque, however you pronounce his name, the Spanish manager that won the back-to-back Euros and the World Cup with Spain, he's literally said a famous quote. He said about Busquets, he said, if you watch the game, you won't see Busquets. If you watch Busquets, you see the whole game.
Yeah. That's perfect.
That's perfect. That's literally it. And from then onwards, I remember from 13, 14 years old, from then onwards, obviously I don't watch many Barcelona games. I don't watch La Liga games. But and he's still my favorite footballer of all time. I watch so many other midfielders more regularly than him. Yeah. But this man, I can just appreciate his great. I probably watched more compilations than I watched live games of him. But this man is just a joy, man. He's so good. He's so good. And I watched him live. I remember I worked at Emirates. My only job I've ever had. My only real job, because apparently this isn't the real job.
This is a slog.
I'm in my bedroom at 10 a.m. talking about football. Yeah. But my only job I've had was as a steward at Emirates Stadium, and I don't count that as a job because I'm watching Arsenal fans, like Arsenal games. I don't count that as a job. And we played Barcelona in the Champions League. And I was there working. And I was literally in the stadium and I was just watching Busquets. My eyes were just off. Messi was playing. I was just watching Busquets.
Wow.
I was like,
love
wow,
that.
man, what a player. Yeah, what
totally. A player. I just there are those players who are just they know. And I bet you've played. I bet you played these games as well. You play against someone who's a bit too good for you, and you're just like, he already knows. He already knows. Like whenever I get, when I'm trying to read him, and he already knows. Like, it's horrible. I can't imagine playing against Busquets. It'd be an absolute nightmare. Absolute nightmare. Let's keep going with this midfield, because you've got actually. I mean, all four of these players in your sort of midfield attack. You're kind of playing is it a false? Not false nine. A kind of
It's like a centre forward, like a false nine, like a deep, like
I like it. So let's. But we've got a lot of these players who just first yards up in their head. I tell you what, let's pair these two together. Two Arsenal players now, which I presume will be in a lot of people's Arsenal teams. This guy was, when we first started chatting about you coming on. The first guy was the gift that was sent. It was this one player that's definitely in there. Who people who watch my channel will know. He had to be. I've had problems with Fabregas in the past. He scored in the 86th minute for Chelsea against QPR, and I had this thing where I'd take a packet of chewing gum to a football game, and I'll go 1, 2, 3, because I'm a nutter. I like 3 chewing gum. Right?
Wow.
And I'll go, if we're losing at half time, I'll get rid of it. But if we're winning or drawing and I'm happy, I'll keep them in. But of course the flavour goes, so I end up popping in more and more. So by the 86th minute, when it's QPR against Chelsea, and it's the year I think they won the league, maybe, I've got 9 bits of chewing gum in my mouth, and I'm trying. And anyway, 86th minute, he scores, and he stands in front of basically me and our fans there. And I'm not proud to say this. I took my chewing gum and I threw that chewing gum. I don't know what happened. Like my hand took, like it had a mind of its own. I was like, I had to get something to it. So bad, really. And I was I found myself being really nervous because people threw much worse things than that. And and I got nowhere near him. But the next day there was people saying, the club were going, we're going to find these people, they'll never watch this club again, and I was like, oh my god, what have I done? I'm not a fan of Fabregas, I'll be honest, but he's your guy. I just need to get that out. But you love him.
No, that's interesting. Yeah, but I am. He had to be my team. If we go back into, like we said, of my Arsenal, like when I start watching Arsenal, he was the guy. Because I came in just after the Invincibles. Towards the end, like all the players over the next couple of years, my first proper couple of years of watching Arsenal, Vieira had gone, Henry had gone, all the best players had gone.
Yeah, it was just him, wasn't it?
And then Fabregas was the man. Young player, early, like 20, 21, very young player, captain, great moments, unbelievable player. His goal against AC Milan, like even against Spurs, I remember we scored 2 against Spurs and like this. We scored, I think Van Persie scored. They were still showing the replay. Fabregas had scored already.
Really?
He gets the ball from kickoff, like tackles them because they have kickoff because we just scored.
Yeah.
Tackles them, goes through a few players, scores. I'm like, what? This guy is unbelievable. He's technically unreal. He's like, I think he's the only player in Premier League history, I don't know if it's still the case, to have over 50 assists and 100 goals, or not 100 assists and 50 goals, something like that. But it's like a crazy stat. Yeah, it's a crazy stat. Obviously, he played for Chelsea. Wasn't a big fan of that, but I'm just thinking of his Arsenal time.
Yeah, for sure.
And he had to be in my team.
Yeah, it's a good point, that, because it was. I remember thinking, you forget how young he was and how he had that club on its shoulders a little bit. You might have still had Adebayor, you might have had a couple of nice people around it, but really he was massively the driving force, and probably why we fell a little short, because you were kind of like 2 players off it. Whereas now, if you think, you can't just have one player anymore. You can't have one player who's like outrageously good. It's interesting though as well. I'm looking at this team, and the more and more there's a real sort of Barcelona Cruyff vibe about it. More and more I look at it. Fabregas would probably have that same like in-game intelligence as well. One player that wasn't from Barcelona, wasn't from Ajax, but a lot of us, I think Arsenal fans it feels like he's grown on people a lot. Your other midfielder here. Tell us about your next midfielder.
So this one I've got a special connection with. I've got a very, very special connection with this player. I even know his birthday. Why don't I know his birthday? His birthday is the 26th of December. Why don't I know that? Because I just have a special connection with him. Yeah. My other centre mid is Aaron Ramsey. And okay, so Aaron Ramsey, I remember young player came in, was meant to be really good. I think United tried to sign him. Wenger hijacked it, got him.
Cardiff, wasn't it?
Yep, Cardiff. Broke his leg, and obviously after he's broke his leg, he's come back, and he wasn't really that good. Really, he was okay. And I remember very clearly, I was in sixth form. So I was in year 12. I was about 16, 17, and my business teacher was a United fan, and then the discussion was, "Oh, Cleverley's way better than Ramsey. Cleverley's better," and everyone was like, "Yeah, Fez, like Ramsey's not that good. Like Ramsey wasn't a starter, nothing." Like I went off on him. I went off on my teacher. I was like, "What?" Because I saw something in Ramsey. I don't know. I liked him from before he was that good.
Yeah. And
I went off on my teacher. I got kicked out of the class.
Of it.
I think and like you say, you're not proud. I think I swore at my teacher. I'm not proud either. But I got so emotional.
At least you didn't throw chewing gum. That would have been worse.
Yeah. I got so defensive because I was like, he just had a good preseason. It was before his like worldly season at Arsenal, just before that. And all my friends till now, I still use it till now. I'm always like, I spotted Ramsey because gonna have a good season. It was gonna be great before anyone. Like generally, literally, same thing. I've got tweets to back up everything. I was like, watch out for Ramsey. This guy's gonna be good. I remember he came on. We were playing United, and Fabregas was meant to start. And I think Fabregas got injured in a warm-up. And then Ramsey started. And everyone was like, what the hell is going on? Like, why is Ramsey starting? Like, we just lost Fabregas and Ramsey starting. We won 1-0. Ramsey goal.
Mate, I mean, in terms of clutch goals as well, like Ramsey, right up there. That's a great one as well in terms of players that you love. Like, and it's probably, It's probably something that you don't get to do as an Arsenal fan as much, or a fan of a big team, is see a guy and go, oh no, I'm telling you guys, like keep an eye on him, keep an eye on him. And he's
the best feeling.
Yeah,
and then on top of that, it's like I said, with the moments, like I said, Koscielny, the clutch goals. We hadn't won a trophy since that 2005 FA Cup final I spoke about. So fast forward now to like 2014, I think it was. We hadn't won a trophy. And we're now 2-0 down against Hull in the FA Cup final. And I'm thinking, oh my days, what is going on? 2-0 against Hull. Santi Cazorla scores a free kick. Amazing. Then Laurent Koscielny, like I said, the clutch player, scores a 2-2. Go to extra time. Who scores the winner? Aaron Ramsey. Like what? Like that moment for me, I'd not seen us win a trophy from when I was about 9 years old, 10 years old, 9, 10 years old. I'd not seen us win a trophy.
Yeah.
And we just won our first trophy. Aaron Ramsey, after having a great season, scores the winner. And he did it again a few years later, another FA Cup winning goal against Chelsea. Like the clutch goals on top of what I'd already said about me believing in him. On top of that, he'd given me the moments. My first 3 players in our team was my midfielders. Busquets, Fabregas, Ramsey was straight into my team, straight away.
That was your 3.
So that was the easiest part of the whole team. Everything else was difficult.
I'm learning a lot here, because sooner or later I'm gonna have to put together my team, and I can't. I just don't know where to begin with it. So maybe I'm loving that. I'm loving the strategy here. So Aaron Ramsey makes his way into your dream team. You've got your midfield 3 there. We now move on to, it's kind of like a front 3, but also one of those. The guy through the middle. Let's go for the guy through the middle first, because he's gonna drop deep. He's gonna get involved. He's going to be all over the place. Give us that name.
Do I even have to say much about this guy?
I think. I'll tell you what. Everyone, pause the video right now. Guess. Okay. Now on pause. Go.
My centre forward, attacking midfielder, false 9, whatever, free role, because he's that good, is Dennis Bergkamp.
I think Dennis Bergkamp. Any Arsenal fan. I mean, how much did you get to see of Dennis Bergkamp?
Not much.
Yeah.
Live, not much. Not close to nothing.
Yeah.
He's that player where, as an Arsenal fan, doesn't matter if you're younger, older, you know Dennis Bergkamp. So naturally, sure. I've read his book that came out recently. Oh, yeah. Obviously, I watched a lot of videos of him. I caught a little bit of him. And on top of that, which you'll see the reason why I picked one of my other forwards is, I was born in the Netherlands, so I'm a Dutch national.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, so I'm a Dutch national, so he's just a hero in general.
Yeah.
So growing up, Arsenal fan and a Dutch national, it's like this man is like, doesn't matter. Even if I was like just too late, I'm watching back his stuff. I'm watching back tapes. I'm watching back highlights. I'm watching back goals. I'm reading his book. Like I'm doing everything I can to immerse myself in Dennis Bergkamp. Like I've read everything about him. He scored a hat-trick against Leicester. Yeah. And they got first, second and third goal of the month just from that game.
Good knowledge.
Like,
I remember that.
Some of the goals he scored, like for the ones for Netherlands.
The Argentina one is
the Argentina outrageous. One.
Yeah.
Dennis Bergkamp. So the commentator, like the Newcastle goal, like as an Arsenal fan, you grow up seeing that Newcastle goal. And just everything about him, like he came before Arsenal. Like, he was the best thing Bruce Rioch ever did for Arsenal.
For sure,
He was there for one season. The best thing he did, getting Dennis Bergkamp. But he had to be in my team. I could have gone for Henry, but I was like, I think Dennis Bergkamp is the greatest player to ever play for Arsenal, and maybe even the Premier League.
I think that is an interesting shout. I'd love to see a poll on that, see who wins that one. Do you know what I think with Bergkamp? Kind of thinking why you've picked him here. I think we all need those like little icons that we kind of that you kind of mesmerize you a little bit, and also kind of allow you to sort of educate yourself on what you like in a player. And Bergkamp, you know, it's weird. He was the sort of blueprint for Arsenal before Arsene Wenger, but they were kind of perfect for each other, which is weird. But yeah, really good shout. I mean, what I always like about Bergkamp, people don't remember this that much. He had that Zidane, like, do not mess with me, like element to him, where he could. I think he got a couple of red cards in his career, maybe a little bit earlier on, but he had that little nasty side as well, which kind of made him even more impressive instead of being a bit flimsy, which sometimes like those kind of players can be. Right, two wingers then. So I tell you what, we'll finish off with your Dutch player. So let's go to one of my strongest whys, probably my biggest why. But maybe I guess maybe there's a recency bias here. I guess there has to be. Give us your left winger.
Yeah. All right, so one final note on Dennis Bergkamp. I actually went for his statue unveiling. I went to his statue unveiling. I had to go there. I had to be there, and I saw him there live. I was like, wow, what a guy. All right, my left winger.
Let the records know. Sharky was at the unveiling of the Dennis Bergkamp statue.
Yeah, I just want people to know.
Yeah.
My left winger is Jack Grealish. Go on.
I mean, I tell you what. Okay. This could age well. I think this age is better than Martinez because, you know, Grealish has got some. I mean, I love Grealish. I love Grealish. Have done for years, and so I kind of get it. I guess the thing maybe I'm struggling with is that he's just so recent, and so it's kind of not come to a conclusion with him. But yeah, give me your reasons.
Okay. So you said it's not like my best 11 ever. It's I have to have some sort of connection.
Yeah, it's the feels
with a player. This one is more of a personal connection. So with Jack Grealish, I actually did a shoot with him 2 years ago. I filmed with him, and he was a great guy. So this was more of a personal connection. Ever since then, so 2019. Ever since then, we've been in contact ever since.
Oh, that's class.
We follow each other. Like every time he does something, I message him, congratulations. He hits me up. Says obviously thank you a lot, all that stuff. I've spoken to him. Speak to him quite a lot. He's also good friends with Chugs. Like he was the other day. Like
I saw that.
So Grealish, So Grealish is actually like on a personal level. I like him. I like him a lot. Like every time we speak, he's a cool guy. So that on top, straight away from that, you want him to do well. Naturally.
What's that like with? Because I know obviously best mates with Chunks and Chunks is a hero, isn't he? And seems to be mates with. Well, he's on all these shoots all the time with all these different players, and then naturally, I think he becomes friends with anyone he talks to, doesn't he? Basically. So those things are going to happen. What's that like for you? Kind of, obviously huge football fan, and then you naturally obviously meet all these people as well when you're doing your shoots or when you're hanging around with Chunks or whoever it might be. Like, how do you find it kind of watching them, on the telly where they're supposedly heroes and then realizing that they're actually just normal human beings?
Normal. It was weird at the start, but now it's like, it's literally like you say, it's normal. It's like the same with YouTubers. Like kids always be like, oh my God, I watch you on my TV all the time, but you're a normal guy. It's the same as the footballers. But naturally, you just want, now that you've met them or you've spoke to them or you follow each other or whatever, you want them to do well. You pay more attention to their career. And aside from the personal stuff, obviously the main reason Grealish made it into our team was the personal connection. But he wouldn't, if he wasn't that good of a player, he wouldn't be there based off just personal. Yeah, it's coupled with the fact that he was at his boyhood club for so long. When they got relegated, he could have probably got a move. He was young. Exciting.
I think it was Spurs. He was really close to going to Spurs.
Spurs a few times. Like he stayed with them in the Championship a few seasons, and I think that's what probably made him a better player, roughened them up, playing in the Championship for a couple of seasons. Came up, got them promoted. They only got them promoted in their first season in the Premier League. They almost got relegated. He scored the goal at the end of the season to keep them up. He's got them promoted. He's kept them up. He could have left then and said, I've done my job. Not only have I got the club promoted, and we've stayed in the Premier League, I can go now. He stayed again. He stayed another season, and they did really well. They actually had a really good season until he got injured, and then Villa started falling off. And then he got them 100 million.
Yeah, man.
And what a great send-off. Like, he got them 100 million.
I think he'd done it. He'd done all he could. Like I did a video and I was talking about the only thing I did, and this is obviously an incredibly personal preference that someone might have, Aston Villa fans might have. There was one idea that I had, which was like, you'd done the hard bit, you'd done all the stuff that you didn't actually need to stay and do, because people would have gone, well, look, you're just moving on with your career. Like, he could have gone to Everton 2 years ago, or do you know what I mean? And made those little steps up that way. He'd kind of done the hard bit. So I think, like, from a fan of a team that isn't a top 6 team, part of me is just like, oh, come on, mate. Like, look how good Villa could be now. But I totally understand why he kind of went and did it. And like this, this series is about dream teams, and it's about those players that like just catch your eye. From 16, I remember watching him on like the highlights of Football League stuff years ago for Notts County, and he had the same socks, he had the same hair, and he couldn't care less what anyone thought about it. And from there to now, he's continued always. I mean, he's allowed to change his hair, but you get what I mean. Like, he's always stuck with he knows himself. Actually, he knows himself a lot better than people would ever give him credit for, both in his style of play and in him, in himself and how he wants to kind of conduct himself. And I think that's that's a great story. That like obviously like he's still like a cool guy, but like literally just on the football pitch. I am saying why, but like players like Grealish are the players that we will talk about for a long time. Do you know what I mean? More so than, I don't know, like a player that will score more goals and maybe win some more trophies. Like Grealish those are the good players, right?
You saw at the Euros, like, he was on the bench a lot, but he was still the main guy for the fans. Like, when he came on, every time he came on, the fans were cheering, screaming. Like, everyone wants to see Grealish play because he's different. Yeah. Like, he's a different type of player. He doesn't play like a typical English player. It's like you see that the guys are like the stylish players. It's different. And yeah, he's that kind of player, I guess. For sure.
I like that. That's right. You've won me over there. You've won me over. It's a good shout. It's a good shout. Right. So this is a gorgeous team, but it needs to be finished off. With a right winger who's going to hug the touchline. He's going to get to the byline. He's never going to cut inside. Who is that? who's that player? There's another why, but I kind of get this one. So yeah, give us your final pick.
My final pick, and on my right wing is Arjen Robben.
I get it. I do get it. I do get this one. Like, do you know what I find funny about Robben is that I thought he was finished just because he was so injury prone. Like, he was electric at Chelsea, wasn't he? He was scary at Chelsea. He was scary.
Yeah, he was good.
And then made his way to, was it Real Madrid? And struggled there. And then Bayern Munich just sort of found himself again. What do you love the most about Arjen Robben?
Well, obviously, like I said, from earlier, the Dutch connection.
Sure.
Well, now I'm more of an England fan now. But growing up, I was born in the Netherlands, but I grew up here my whole life. I came here when I was like 3 years old. Right. So I don't even speak Dutch. Right. I still have Dutch passport. But growing up, especially when you're young, like when you're a young kid, you want to be different to everyone else. And everyone, I was like, I'm Dutch. I was more like representing Holland. I was like, you're a kid, you trying to be different. I wanted to be. So I was like, yeah, I'm Dutch. I support Holland. That's why the World Cup 2010, I was about 14. And I really wanted Holland to win that. And we almost did. Yeah. And we almost did. Got to the final, extra time, conceded Iniesta goal, Fabregas assist, which almost made him miss out on my dream team.
Almost
made because he assisted a goal to break my heart. But Arjen Robben, when I obviously watching the Holland, Arjen Robben was unbelievable. Generally, like I said, you made the joke that he never cuts in, but he had that one special move. Everyone thinks about Arjen Robben, they just know he's gonna cut in and he's gonna hit a worldie left foot outside the box. I can't remember him scoring many goals inside the box, really. Like, he just.
But I guess how many times of, how good have you got to be at something for other people to know exactly what you're going to do and still can't stop it?
And still do it. Like, that's what I'm saying, though. It's like, and I think with Arjen Robben, I've not heard, like, up until now, I did a dream team, I put Robben in. I've not heard Robben's name from anyone, my friends, just normal conversation, in a long time. No one speaks about him. Like, he's just kind of like forgotten about. Yeah. Like, no one really goes, oh, Robben, like, oh, talk about wings, oh, Rob. No one's, like, it's weird because even I don't speak about him. It's so strange. It's maybe because he didn't have that, like, superstar look, or I don't know, because no one really speaks about Robben. It's kind of like a forgotten player.
I think, yeah, maybe it's a Bundesliga thing. Maybe it's a Germany thing. Like, Bayern Munich are so dominant. Him and Ribéry, wasn't it? Like, on both wings for them. Like, when they won the Champions League, were really, really good. Maybe that's it. Like, you know, I don't know. Maybe, yeah, it's interesting. Maybe it's a look thing. I don't know. Because, I guess you could say that, I'm trying to think of, you know, say like Haaland or those kind of strikers now. Or maybe someone like, I don't know, maybe even someone like Lewandowski. I'm sort of plucking it out a little bit now, but those Bayern Munich players, like, will we keep talking about them? I don't know. So maybe you're right. I think for the Netherlands, 96 games, 37 goals is a pretty decent record. Like, and became a real leader actually for Bayern Munich and for Netherlands. And with Bayern Munich, I guess that year that they won it, you know, he's probably, yeah, you're right. He just didn't have that superstardom, but like he was probably as good as anyone else that year.
Oh, he was so good. So he scored in the final as well. But one criticism I had was like he bottled the big games. Obviously, he scored in that when they won the Champions League against Dortmund, he scored. But in the World Cup final, he had about 3 1-on-1s against Casillas.
Yeah.
Which got cut off. In the Champions League final against Chelsea, he missed the penalty in extra time.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah, Bayern could have won the whole thing. So people say maybe like he bottled a few big games, but he was so good. He was so good to watch. Honestly, so good. Even like the 2014 World Cup first group game against Spain, we beat them 5-1.
Yeah.
He scored 2 goals and one of the goals was like he just burnt Sergio Ramos with pace cut and like just embarrassed the Spanish team. And I was like, this guy I love watching him. He was so good. So I had to go for Arjen Robben. I had to.
Final question. So that is your team. It's a glorious team. Quickly, super quickly, who's your captain?
Ooh.
Who's lifting the trophy?
I got to be smart here. Obviously, my favorite player is Busquets, but he's not a captain.
Do you want to give him that moment though?
Yeah, you know, he's my favorite player, Sergio Busquets.
Yeah,
go. I was going to give it to Fabregas. I was like, nah, Busquets. Give him the captaincy.
And this question I generally like to kind of spring on people is who's the manager of that team? And it can't be you.
Oh, okay. I didn't have a manager prepared, but I think
that's fine. Well, I always ask this question. Oh, he's gone.
There's one man.
Oh, there's one man. Here we go. Because I always want a gut call. I thought it might be. There he is. He's getting better looking, isn't he? Seems to be getting better looking.
Arsene Wenger. Yeah, look at that. The silver hair. I like it. This is my manager. No doubt in my mind.
Okay,
no
perfect.
Doubt in my mind. Greatest manager to ever grace the Premier League.
Sharky, mate, you are an absolute legend. That was so easy, so fun. Loved it. Guys, there is a link in the description to Sharky's channel. Go and check him out. He's wonderful. Let me know what you think about his dream team, and let me know who else you would like to be on dream teams. If you're new to the channel, of course, subscribe, hit the like button, comment down below, all that stuff, and go check out the other episodes of Dream Teams. Thanks for watching. Thank you, Sharky. See you next time.